Across the world, civil society groups are defending democracy. One of their most powerful tools, coalitions. But coalitions are complex. They must coordinate diverse actors, manage competing interests, and stay adaptable in rapidly changing contexts. So how can democracy champions build coalitions that last and drive real impact? Here are 5 strategic questions to consider when building and evolving pro-democracy civil society coalitions. The first strategic question to consider: is your coalition design fit for purpose? Start by asking, what is your coalition trying to achieve? The answer should guide both its size and its structure. First, consider size. Does your goal require a small and focused coalition, one that's nimble, tightly aligned, and able to move quickly? Or do you need a broad and diverse coalition, one that can demonstrate widespread legitimacy and public support? There's no one-size-fits-all model. The key is aligning size with your strategy. Next, think about structure. Will your coalition have centralized leadership or operate through decentralized hubs? Are roles and responsibilities clear? Is there a strategy for coordinating day-to-day work and managing internal decision-making? Size and structure shape how well your coalition can respond to challenges, build trust, and maintain momentum. Let's take a look at an example. In Australia, the Stronger Charities Alliance formed a broad coalition across sectors to fight government restrictions on advocacy. Though attacks were targeted towards environmental organizations, Australian charities of all kinds formed a coalition to prevent a raft of charity law and regulatory proposals. This helped the government take concerns seriously and amend their proposals, and convince the upper legislative house to reject the government's proposals. The coalition's all-hands-on-deck unified response helped counter powerful and politically entrenched interest groups. The takeaway? A coalition that is right-sized and well-structured for its purpose, whether small or large, centralized or distributed, can be a powerful force for democratic resilience. The second strategic question to consider: does the coalition embrace and strategically manage the diversity of actors, roles, perspectives, and strategies required to succeed? A coalition's diversity can be one of its greatest strengths, bringing together different skills, identities, experiences, and perspectives to create broader reach, deeper credibility, and more sustainable action. But diversity also brings complexity. A coalition's diversity must be managed intentionally. Ask yourself, are we engaging the full range of actors needed and using their unique strengths effectively? Who brings influence, technical expertise, or grassroots reach? Are we including both insiders and outsiders, organizers and advocates, radicals and reformers? Are there clear roles and room for people to lead or follow as needed? Because coalitions often operate in fast-moving or resource-constrained environments, success depends heavily on trust. Strong personal relationships, shared experiences, and informal networks often create the glue that holds diverse coalitions together, sometimes even more than formal organizational ties. When political or strategic views differ, as they frequently do, the key is to focus on common goals and mutual respect, rather than demanding perfect agreement. Let's take a look at an example. In June 2024, when President Emmanuel Macron unexpectedly called snap elections, civil society had only 3 weeks to act against the threat of a far-right government led by the National Rally. In response, a group of activists rapidly formed a decentralized digital coalition. This wasn't a formal, hierarchical organization. It was a network built on years of informal collaboration and personal trust. Many members joined in their personal, not institutional, capacities. They brought their own people, tools, and energy, with no rigid structure but a clear, shared goal: to prevent a far-right victory. This networked model was agile, leveraging diverse skills and perspectives, and focused on mutual support rather than hierarchy. The result? Voter turnout surged to its highest level since 1997. The far right failed to secure a majority, while the united left far exceeded expectations. This example shows how embracing diversity, alongside investing in trust and informal relationships, creates a coalition capable of rapid, effective action. The takeaway? To succeed, coalitions must strategically embrace diversity and build the personal trust and shared purpose needed to unite diverse actors toward a common goal. The third strategic question to consider: is the coalition equipped to manage potentially competing incentives and power dynamics? Coalitions bring together different missions, motivations, and power dynamics. To succeed, these dynamics must be named upfront and planned for intentionally. Start by asking, what are members really hoping to gain? Are incentives aligned or merely overlapping? Who holds the power in the room and who is being heard? Are financial incentives influencing participation? As Saffron Zomer of the Australian Democracy Network put it, coalition members need to have both a public interest outcome in the coalition project and a self-interest outcome. In other words, it's not enough to align on goals. You also need to understand the personal and organizational needs of each member of the coalition. For some members, that might mean raising their political profile, building new relationships, accessing decision makers, receiving funding, gaining media exposure, or simply feeling solidarity and protection. Acknowledging these motivations strengthens the coalition. Next, coalitions must stay attuned to power dynamics. Some members will naturally hold more power due to size, funding, or networks. Ask yourself, who is shaping the agenda? Who is doing the labor? Are frontline actors being heard, or are they being sidelined? Recognizing and addressing these imbalances is key to keeping your coalition both effective and equitable. Finally, financial incentives add another layer of complexity to managing coalitions. Funding can strengthen coalition efforts, but it also brings challenges. When resources are limited, coalitions must carefully manage both the opportunities and risks that come with funding, especially when funds are regranted within the coalition. Fairly allocating funds can be difficult, and coalition members may hesitate to have honest conversations about priorities. To navigate this, set clear, transparent guidelines for how funding decisions are made, so that resources strengthen the coalition, not divide it. The takeaway: managing coalitions means managing people, and that includes being honest about incentives and intentional about power. Clear communication, transparency, and equity are essential to building coalitions that hold together over time. The fourth strategic question to consider: does the coalition have a path for building alliances with key actors and institutions outside of the coalition? Building alliances beyond your core coalition can significantly increase your impact. While civil society-led coalitions often position themselves in opposition to governments or private actors, valuable allies often exist within those very institutions. These allies might include public officials and civil servants, politicians sympathetic to your cause, corporate, faith, social, or military leaders, leaders in traditional media, cultural influencers. Think about how your coalition can identify and engage these allies. For example, some groups may lack national influence, but hold deep relationships and credibility at the local or regional level, making them essential coalition partners in those settings. Allies serve many purposes. They can amplify your message, open doors to decision makers, or offer legitimacy in official forums. Some may help broker access to institutions like the UN or treaty negotiations, where NGOs alone might be excluded. Developing these alliances requires careful planning to maximize opportunities and maintain consistent messaging. The takeaway? A coalition that actively builds and nurtures external alliances can expand its reach, increase its impact, and access new levers of influence. The fifth and final strategic question to consider: how does the coalition build and sustain enthusiasm and commitment? Coalitions can ask a lot of their members. It is important to recognize that people and organizations face real opportunity costs when they join. How can coalitions build and sustain enthusiasm and commitment? Start by considering your reputation. Make your coalition as attractive as possible by being known for efficiency, effectiveness, and yes, even a bit of excitement. Next, focus on the people you want to attract. It's not about bringing in the important players. It's about attracting those who truly drive change. Setting clear expectations helps. Use a simple bar for entry that focuses on shared direction. not a rigid purity test that shuts out diverse views. Strong communication is also key for sustaining enthusiasm and commitment. Keep updates brief and relevant, delivered on platforms and times that suit your members. For example, younger members might prefer evening chats on social apps, while others engage best with early morning emails. Leadership also matters. While technical expertise is important, warmth, charisma, and emotional intelligence make participation feel meaningful and keep people coming back. Let's look at an example. In 2013, Tax Justice UK participated in a coalition focused on corporate transparency at the G8 Summit. Their weekly calls were tight and focused. 15 minutes sharing intelligence, 15 minutes reviewing action items, holding members accountable. That mix of focus, strong leadership, and clear goals attracted the right people, experts, influencers, and activists, all motivated and ready to act. The coalition built a FOMO, or fear of missing out, in the field. Major NGO players approached this rather technical-focused coalition to participate because they felt it was the big play at that year's G8 meeting, in terms of momentum and potential wins for civil society. The takeaway: building reputation and sustaining commitment means clear goals, strong leadership, and communication that respects members' time and talents. These 5 strategic questions offer a framework for building and evolving pro-democracy civil society coalitions. Is your coalition design fit for purpose? Does the coalition embrace and strategically manage the diversity of actors, roles, perspectives, and strategies required to succeed? Is the coalition equipped to manage potentially competing incentives and power dynamics? Does the coalition have a path for building alliances with key actors and institutions outside of the coalition? How does the coalition build and sustain enthusiasm and commitment? Coalition work is complex, but it can lead to transformative change. Consider using these questions to strengthen your strategy, your relationships, and your collective power.